Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you so much for your association. So we will start our Bhakti Vaibhav session. We are in the 8th chapter of the first canto. And Krishna willing, we'll try to finish the chapter today. Let's offer our prayers of Mangalacharya and then we'll go ahead. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रिये ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः मकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्येश्वरम् Hare Krishna. So we are in the 8th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'll not do a detailed recap because we have done quite a lot of time. But a quick thing that how we have almost ended the prayers of Srimati Kunti Maharani. Why I'm saying almost ended? Because the last obeisances that she paid to Lord Shri Krishna by calling her out with different names that we will see today. But otherwise, we have ended Kunti Stuti. And it's very important that we should know what was the flow of the Kunti Maharani's prayers. So we started with that how she paid her obeisances, and then she explained that, oh, you are beyond the senses. You are covered by the curtain of Maya, and nobody can know you perfectly. And especially a woman like me, I'm in a female body, so how can I know you? But still, she says that I'm very, very fortunate. Fortunate is Vasudev Maharaj, fortunate is Devaki Rani, fortunate is Nanda Maharaj. But I am also very fortunate in the sense that you didn't protect the sons of Mother Devaki, but you protected my sons at every stage of life. So she says that, of course, I am very, very fortunate. So amidst of all the calamities also, she is feeling very, very grateful to Krishna. So that attitude of gratitude should be developed by all of us. And then she says, she lists out various things, various events when Krishna saved her and her sons. like when Bhima was poisoned, when Bhima fought with the Hirimba and Bakasur, when there was a great fire, and of course, this battlefield of Kurukshetra. And finally, we saw that how Krishna, when he was leaving to Dwaraka, Uttara came running. So even Krishna protected the embryo of Uttara. So that also Kunti Maharani states that Drauni Ashastras, that you also saved from the weapon of Ashwatthama. So while listing out all the calamities, she was remembering that at every suffering, Krishna came and protected. So she said that better was the time when the calamities were there in my life, because at least I was able to see you at every step of that life. And now, when everything has been okay, Yudhishthir Maharaj is enthroned and you are leaving us. So, in that mood, she is saying, let there be calamities. Actually, calamities are better because they give us the opportunity to see you. Now, we have to understand that Kunti Maharani was not asking for calamities, but she was saying that I want to have the vision of you. I want to see you at every step of my life. And in that mood, she is saying that calamities are better because when those calamities were there, you were there. So then she lists out that who cannot approach the Supreme Lord, those who are very proud of their wealth, of their opulence, of their austerities, of their beauty, of their education. Well, they cannot please the Supreme Lord because what can please? Only devotional service. Bhakti Tushchati Madhava. Only bhakti can please or satisfy the Supreme Lord. And also she mentions that how Lord is the property of impoverished. He is akinchana gochara. So you always stay with those who only and only rely on you. They don't rely on their possession, their education, their austerities, their fame, their beauty. But the only shelter they have is you, and you also protect them. You are Kal, you are eternal time. And then she says that you are not partial, you are impartial. And it's only the thing is that we have to understand that Krishna is reciprocal. And that's what Kunti Maharani also says, that you are reciprocal, you are not partial. And then she says that your contradictory things, how the Supreme Lord, he is the one who harmonizes all the contradictions. So she says, all those contradictory things actually bewilders me. Like Krishna is, that we have, right? Ugram Viram Mahavishnu. So Krishna is Ugram, but Krishna is Anugram. Krishna is Viram, but Krishna is Aviram. Sarvatomukham, but Asarvatomukham. So Krishna actually harmonizes all the contradictions. He is unborn, still he takes birth from the womb of Mother Devaki. And then she quotes the pastime that how Krishna, when you were bound by Mother Yashoda with the ropes of her love and devotion, at that time when she was holding a stick in her hand, you were really fearful. And you were rubbing your eyes, and your Anjana was covering your whole cheeks, and it was turning black. So she says that at that time, you were really fearful. And this is very, very bewildering because even a fear personified is fearful of you, but still, how you were fearful, this is very, very bewildering to me. And after describing this, she gives the various opinions about the birth, why he take birth, why Krishna has to come in this world. And she gives around 6 reasons. One of the reasons was that he comes to glorify the kings like Yudhishthir Maharaj, Punya Shloka Kirtaye. And we saw that why Punya Shloka Kirtaye refers to only Yudhishthir Maharaj. Then she says, actually, you come to please your dynasty, Yaduma, King Yadu, in the dynasty you take birth. Then you came to answer the prayers of Devaki Rani and Vasudev Maharaj when they prayed as Sutapa and Krishna. To answer their prayers, you come. And then you come for the welfare of the people in the world in general, and you come to kill the asuras. Indrari vyakulam lokam hridayanti yuge yuge. And then finally she says the sixth reason is that Krishna, you come as in answer to the prayers of Lord Brahma, when Brahma, along with all the demigods and Bhumi Devi, came to Kshirosagar, at that time they prayed, and in answer to their prayers, you appeared. But all these are secondary reasons, Krishna. The real reason for your appearance is Shravanam, Smaranam, Arhanam. You give the opportunity to the people in general so that they can hear, they can remember, and they can worship you. With this, what happens? Their devotional service rekindles. And then they can be delivered from the karma, from the desire, and of course, from the pangs of this material existence. But as she said, well, this is also external. It's a byproduct of hearing about your pastimes, like kleshagni means the distress, removal of distress and the removal of desires is actually the byproduct of hearing Krishna Katha. The real reason of hearing Krishna Katha is devotional service. Hearing about you has the potency of devotional service. So then, finally, when she quotes this, she said, are you still planning to leave us? I want to have more of your association. Then Krishna can say, well, you have Bhima, Arjun, they are so wonderful, powerful warriors. Why do you want me to stay? Then she said, actually, yes, in one sense, you are right. You have Yudhishthira Maharaj, I have Krishna, I have Bhima. But the strength of those Pandavas were also there because of your presence. Without you, it is just like a fish without a water, or like a senses without the soul. That's what she gives the reason. So she says, after you leave, all the auspicious signs of your lotus feet will be removed from our place, and there will be no longer prosperity. All the prosperity that you see, it is because of your presence. And if you leave, then everything will be gone. So then she said, she understands that why I'm being so selfish. I'm worrying about the Pandavas and I'm ignoring my brother, Vasudev Maharaj. I'm ignoring Vrishnis. So why I'm doing so? So she prays that Krishna, this is also it's not good on my part that I'm being partial to the Pandavas and want you to stay in Hastinapur forever, but I'm not worried about the Dwarkavasis who are also waiting for you. So I want you to cut this affection, this tie of affection for both, for Pandavas as well as for Vrishnis. I want you to cut all these affection for me. And Krishna says, if the affection for my devotees is cut, then what do you think? Do you want some Brahman realization? Why you are cutting the relationship with my devotees? Because I am with my devotees. And if you are cutting that affection with my devotees, then what is the use? Because I reside in the heart of my devotees. And then finally, she says, no, Krishna, I don't want that tie of affection to be cut in the sense what you are understanding, but I want the tie of affection to be cut. Why? Because in the material sense, actually. Then she quotes this beautiful verse, Tvai me ananya vishaya, matir madhupate sakrit rate muddhavadad ganga vogam udanvati. So this is a very, very beautiful verse, and I think so it's a memorizing verse also. So she says, I don't want Ananya Vishaya. Ananya Vishaya means I don't want any other thought process to come over. My mind should hold Rati only for you, and that too without any obstacle. Just as Ganga flows with its full way, with its full power. So I want my mind should also think only about you, nothing else. Ananya Vishaya means there should be no object no object on which my mind should have rati. My mind should have only rati for you. So she says that I know that you are non-different from your devotees. So if I don't have affection for your devotees, then affection for you will not take place. So when I'm saying that cut out all the ties for me, for the Pandavas and Vrishnis, I want to say that cut out all the material affection. But that attraction for you and for your devotees should always be there. So, this is my prayer to cut the material affection that arises due to this bodily identification. Because when I'm thinking of Pandavas, I'm thinking of my son. When I'm thinking of Vrishnis, I'm thinking of my relatives. So, I want to cut that mind thing, that material affection that arises due to bodily identification. I want to cut that. Just like Ganga flows to ocean, Ogham, right? Just like Ganga flows to an ocean, but how she flows? She flows smoothly, even though there are obstacles in the path, but still she's not worried about those obstacles. She flows to the ocean no matter how many obstacles come. So just as Ganga does not consider any obstacles on its course while going to ocean, similarly, my mind should not consider any obstacles that may arise while thinking of you. So therefore, I'm requesting you to cut all those ties for me. And then we will see today's verse, that is text number 43, which is actually the last prayer of Kunti Maharani. So this is the same meter as we sing Brahma Samhita. Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishna Rishabhavanni Drug Rajanyavam Sadhanana Pavar Gavirya Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara Yogeshwara Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. So what she's saying, finally in her list of prayers, she is now giving final obeisances to the Supreme Lord because she knows that Krishna will go to Dwarka. And she is okay with it now. So she addresses Krishna. She says, Shri Krishna, O Shri Krishna, Krishna Sakha, you are the friend of Arjun. So here, Krishna Sakha, Krishna is also another name of Arjun. So she calls Krishna, she addresses Krishna as Krishna Sakha. Vrishni Rishabha Vanidruk. Vrishni means you are the descendants of Vrishni dynasty. Rishabha means you are the best. So Rishabha means you are the best, or you are the chief, or you are the lord of Rishis. Just like Arjun was also addressed by Krishna as Bharat Rishabha. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharmani vriddho bhuteshu kamosmi Bharat Rishabha. So there also Krishna addresses Arjun as Bharat Rishabha, means best of the Bharatas, you can say is Lord of the Bharatas. So this is how even here our Kunti Maharani is saying, you are Rishabhavani. You are Vrishni Rishabha. Vrishni Rishabha means you are the best of all the Vrishnis. You are the Lord of all the Vrishnis. Avani refers to earth. Druk means the rebellious Rajanya, the king. So you also protected the earth from all the rebellious kings. Rajanya Vamshadhanana Pavar Gavirya. Dahana means to annihilate, to destroy. So you destroyed all the rebellious kings that were present on the earth. Not only the king, but their entire Vamsha, the entire dynasty was annihilated by you. And you are Anapavarga Virya, means your power cannot be diminished. That's the meaning of Anapavarga Virya. that you have undiminished strength. And then she says, Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara. You appear, your avatara, your incarnation, you appear Hara, to take away. Hara means to take away. To take away what? Arti. To take away the distress of whom? Suras. To take away the distress of the demigods, to take away the distress of Dvijas, the Brahmanas, and also to take away the distress of Go, that is cows. So Govinda Go Dvija Surarti Hara Avatara. Oh Govinda, she calls her Govinda. That go means lot of things. Go means cows, go means senses, go means gopis, go means goswamis, go means gopas, go also means Goloka Vrindavan. So this is what our Jiva Goswami and our Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions. Actually, Jiva Goswami specifically says that Govinda means the ruler of supreme Goloka, that eternal planet. That also means Govinda. So Vinda means to give pleasure to all these goes. And then she says that you have the wealth of Kamadhenus, Go Dvija Surarti Haravatara. And to remove the, the suffering of all these people, you take avatar. You are Yogeshwara Akhila Guru. You are the Yogeshwara. Yogeshwara means, Prabhupada says, that you are yogis. You are the master of all the mystic powers. You are Yogeshwara, Akhila, universal, and you are Guru. You are a preceptor. Bhagavan Namaste. O possessor of all the opulences, I pay my obeisances unto you. So finally, she glorifies Krishna, addresses Krishna with different names, and then she ends her prayers. Somebody can read the translation.
O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, O chief among the descendants of Vrishni, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distress of the cows, the Brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God, and I offer you my respectful obeisances. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Indanath. So finally, she says, O friend of Arjun, O Krishna, O best of Yadavas, destroyer of the kings who harmed this earth, Avani, you have the undiminished strength. You are the lord of the cows. You are the destroyer of the sufferings of the cows, Brahmanas, and the Devatas. You are the master of yoga. You are the guru of the people. O Lord, I give my respectful obeisances unto you. So Prabhupada writes, a summary of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is made here by Srimati Kunti Maharani. The Almighty Lord has its eternal transcendental abode, where he is engaged in keeping Surabhi cows. He is served by thousands and hundreds of goddess of fortune. He descends to the material world to reclaim his devotees, to annihilate the disturbing elements. He creates, annihilates, maintains by his unlimited energy, but he is always full with prowess, does not deteriorate in potency. So, anapavarga virya. You do all these things, you create, you annihilate, you maintain, but still your potency doesn't deteriorate. It's not like us that we do one day some heavy things or some programs if we are organizing, and we put all our energy in those programs, like now Janmashtami is heading, Balram Purnima is heading. We do so much for the temple. We work tirelessly. But then next day, we are so tired because we put all our energy in that festival. But next day, we are again tired. Krishna is not such. His power never diminished. The cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees of the Lord are all objects of his special attention and because of their important factors for the general welfare of living beings. So here Prabhupada also says the Almighty Lord has his eternal transcendental board. This he has taken from Srila Jiva Goswami's commentary, where Jiva Goswami mentions that one of the meaning of Govinda is that he is the ruler of the supreme Goloka planet eternally. Text 44. Sutavacha prithayetam kalapadai parinutakilodaya mandam jahasa vaikuntho mohyam iva mayaya. So now our prayers ended. So now the camera has shifted back to Naimisharanya, where Sutta Goswami is narrating this entire episode to Shaunakadi Rishi. So there Sutta Goswami is saying, Parthetam Kala Padai. This way, Parthetam means the prayers by Pritha, by Kunti Maharani. This way, and Kala Padai, she has taken some chosen words to glorify Krishna. Parinota Khilo Udaya. Akhila Udaya means his glories. His glories were praised. Parinuta means to glorify, to praise, or to be worshipped, as Prabhupada writes. Mandam Jahasa Vaikuntho. Our Vaikuntha is the name of the Supreme Lord also. So he, Mandam Jahasa. Mandam means mildly, he smiled. Mohayan Eva Mayaya. Why? Because his smile was as chanting as his mystic power. Mohayan, that could bewilder anybody. So he smiled when Kunti Maharani offers her prayers. So the most alluring, we can say, the most alluring illusory material energy actually is compared to the smile. That's why he says, Mohyam Mayaya. Mohyam eva Mayaya. That my Maya, my mystic power, with his mystic power, he himself was captivated by the prayers of Srimati Kunti Maharani. So, Prabhupada, okay, somebody can read the translation, then we can go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Sutta Goswami said, the Lord, thus hearing the praise of Kunti Devi, composed in choice words for his glorification, mildly smiled. That smile was enchanting as his mystic power.
Thank you, Nalita Mataji. That smile was as enchanting as his mystic power. So just like his mystic power illusions everybody and bewilders everybody. So the smile of Krishna is compared to the illusory energy of the Lord. I can show the praman for this. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Since it's Canto 2.1.31. See, Haso Janmoda Kari Chamaya. They say that the Vedic hymns, they are the cerebral passage of the Lord. His jaws of teeth are Yama, god of death, who punishes the sinners. The art of affection is his set of teeth, and the most alluring illusory energy, material energy, is his smile. This great ocean of material creation is but just the casting of his glance over us. So yes, his most alluring energy, material energy, is his smile. Prabhupada writes, anything that is enchanting in the world is said to be the representation of the Lord. The conditioned souls who are engaged in trying to lord it over material world are also enchanted by his mystic powers. But his devotees are enchanted in a different way by the glories of the Lord, and his merciful blessings are upon them. His energy is displayed in different ways as electrical energy works in a manifold capacities. So just like the energy, the power supply is one. Now, when the power supply goes to an air conditioner, it gives cooling air. And when the same electrical energy is connected to a heater, it gives the hot air. Energy is the one. Similarly, Krishna's energy is one. When it acts on the conditioned souls in this material existence, it is known as Mahamaya, or the material illusory energy. Why it is known as illusory energy? It's not that the Maya is illusioned, but it keeps all the devotees, all the living entities in illusion. Therefore, she is known as illusory energy. And when the same energy is acting on the Nij Parshads, the eternal associates of Krishna, in the spiritual world, the same energy is known as Yoga Maya. Energy is one. Srimati Kunti has prayed to the Lord just to enunciate a fragment of his glories. All his devotees worship him in that way by chosen words, and therefore the Lord is known as Uttama Shloka. So there are two meanings of this word Uttama Shloka. One is that he is glorified by the choicest words of his devotees. And secondly, those choicest words, or any of those words that glorify the Supreme Lord, become the most famous words, or holds the great value. So that is why he is known as Uttama Shloka. So no amount of chosen words is sufficient to enumerate the glories of the Lord, and yet he is satisfied by such prayers. So Kunti Maharani, Krishna was very satisfied by the prayers, just like a father is satisfied even by the broken linguistic attempts of the growing child. So even though the choicest words are not used to glorify Krishna, still, because they are glorifying Krishna, those words become the best. So two meanings of Uttama Shloka. The word Maya is used both in the sense of delusion and mercy. It is delusion when it is acting on the conditioned souls, but it's a mercy when it acts upon the devotees. Herein, the word Maya is used in the sense of Lord's mercy upon Kunti Devi, because she is the eternal associate of the Supreme Lord. So now Sutta Goswami is saying, thus Krishna, so he simply smiled after hearing the prayers of Kunti Maharani. Text 45. Tambadham iti upamantrya pravishya gajasahavam striyascha swapurnam yasyan premna rajna nivaritaha. Then what happened? Let's read the translation. Somebody can read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thus, accepting the prayers of Srimati Kunti Devi, the Lord subsequently informed other ladies of his departure by entering the palace of Hastinapura. But upon preparing to leave, he was stopped by the king Yudhishthira, who implored him lovingly. Hare Krishna.
So then what happened? He accepted. He smiled at the prayers of Kunti Maharani, and he accepted all the prayers that Kunti Maharani has prayed for. So Kunti Maharani has prayed that how her mind should be concentrated only on Krishna, and Krishna finally accepted that. But then he went to Hastinapur, and there he wanted to take permission. So he took permission to leave to Dwarka, and from all the ladies, of course, Kunti Maharani was there, and even Uttara came running, and Draupadi Devi was there. But finally, there were other ladies in Hastinapur. He wants to, like Subhadra Devi, he wants to take permission even from them. So as he wants to go to Dwarka, he stopped at Hastinapur to take permission from everybody. But there and then something happened. What happened? It says, Premna Ragna Nivarita. with the love of Ragna, means the supreme law, the king, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he stopped. So then what happened? Yudhishthir Maharaj came and he very lovingly, out of love and devotion, he said, he begged, he implored. Implored means to beg. Earnestly, he begged to Krishna to please stay longer. And this indicates that Krishna was completely controlled by the love of Yudhishthir because he really stopped. He didn't stop on the prayers of Kunti Maharani, but as he was taught by Yudhishthir Maharaj, Krishna delayed his tour to Dwarka. Prabhupada writes in the purport, no one could make Lord Krishna stay at Hastinapur when he decided to start for Dwarka. But the simple request of King Yudhishthir that the Lord remain there for few more days was immediately effective. This signifies that the power of King Yudhishthir's loving affection, which the Lord could not deny. The Almighty God is thus conquered only by the loving service and nothing else. He is fully independent in all his dealings, but he voluntarily accepts obligations of the loving affection of his pure devotees. Now, we should not think that Krishna was not dear or Kunti Maharani was not dear to Krishna. That's not the case. But we know that Krishna with one arrow actually targets multiple things. So with one thing, he can solve many purposes. So it's not that he was not affectionately attached to Kunti Maharani. Of course, Kunti Maharani is also a very great devotee. But then he was stopped by seeing when seeing Yudhishthir Maharaj, when actually Yudhishthir Maharaj begged him to stop, he actually stopped. He delayed his program of going to Dwarka. But why he did it? Because he has another motive to solve. And what is that? We will see next. So text 46. Vyasadir Ishwaraknehe Krishne Adbhuta Karmana Prabodhito Pitaser Nadbhutya Sucharpita. So what actually happened is that Krishna was thinking that I am being stopped by Yudhishthir Maharaj. And being a Paramatma in the heart of Yudhishthir Maharaj, Krishna knew what was going in his mind, what is going in his heart. Because Yudhishthir Maharaj was overwhelmed with the massacre that happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So Krishna, what he did is, he thought that I have to somehow give solace to Krishna, to Yudhishthir Maharaj, but at the same time, I cannot leave Bhishma Dev, who was still lying on the bed of arrows, waiting for the Supreme Lord to appear before his eyes. So he said that he will not die till the time he will see me, and already death is approaching. So somehow or other, I have to make such an arrangement where Yudhishthir Maharaj goes to Bhishma Dev, and we all go, and finally Bhishma Dev should instruct Yudhishthir Maharaj. So this was the thought process that was going on in the heart of Krishna. So when he was stopped by Yudhishthir Maharaj showed his concern, and Vyasa Adir, even Vyasadev, sages like Vyasadev, Ishvara, even the Supreme Lord himself, was not able to console Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Krishna Adbhuta Karmana, and then Krishna performed this Adbhuta Karmana, the superhuman work. And what is that superhuman work? That Prabodha Piti Haser, that though he was being solaced, being given solace by personalities like Vyasadeva and Krishna himself, Nadbhuttaya Sucharpita still could not relieve Yudhishthir Maharaj from his sorrows, from his suffering. So this was Krishna Adbhuta Karmana, that he made such an arrangement where Yudhishthir Maharaj was not satisfied by the words of all the rishis, including Vyasadev and Krishna, the Supreme Lord, Ishvara himself. The words of Vyasadev, the words of Krishna could not give any solace to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And this is the arrangement that was done by Krishna. Just like Krishna bewildered Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So he just used Arjuna as an instrument so that Bhagavad Gita can come. So the appearance of Bhagavad Gita can happen. So therefore, now he is putting Yudhishthir Maharaj in such a situation where he is not being solaced by any of these personalities. And why? Because Krishna made such an arrangement where he wants to glorify his devotee, that is Bhishma Dev, who was still waiting for Krishna on the bed of arrows. So this is Krishna's Adbhuta Karmana. Somebody can read translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. King Yudhishthira, who was much aggrieved, could not be convinced, despite instructions by great sages, headed by Vyasa and the Lord Krishna himself, the performer of superhuman feats, and despite all historical evidence. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So nobody could even give solace to Yudhishthir Maharaj. The pious, Prabhupada writes in the purport, the pious king Yudhishthir was mortified. Why he was in a morose condition? Because of the mass massacre of human beings in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, especially on his account. It's a very beautiful purport. We'll quickly go through. Duryodhan was there on the throne and he was doing well in his administration. It's not that Duryodhan was not a good administrator. So he was doing good. He was coronated as a prince of Hastinapur. In one sense, there was no need of fighting. But on the principle of justice, Yudhishthir was to replace him. The whole clique of politics centered around this point, and all the kings and the residents of the whole world became involved in this fight between the brothers. Lord Krishna was there on the side of Yudhishthir. And it is said in the Mahabharata Adi Parva that 600 million men were killed in the 18 days in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This mass killing simply was to enthrone Yudhishthir Maharaj. This thought itself was very mortifying. He tried to convince with evidences from great histories by Vyasa, by Lord himself, that the fight was just because the cause was just. Therefore, this fight was just because the cause was just. And what was the cause? The cause was dharma, to re-establish dharma. Our Duryodhan was a good administrator. He was a great politician, but he was not a good king. He was not dharmic in nature. So dharma has to be prevailed. So for that, Yudhishthir Maharaj has to come in the reign. And for that, this fight was inevitable. Krishna tried a lot of time that this fight can be avoided. But because of the nature of Duryodhan, it wasn't. So this fight was just because the cause was just. But Maharaj Yudhishthir was not satisfied. He thought this entire massacre happened just so that he is enthroned. He gets the power. But in this particular instance, neither he nor Vyasa could convince Yudhishthir Maharaj. Does it mean that he failed to be a superhuman actor, Adbhuta Karmana? He could have solaced Yudhishthir Maharaj. What was so difficult for Krishna? Certainly not, Prabhupada says. The interpretation is that the Lord as Ishvara, or the super soul in the hearts of both the king Yudhishthir and Vyasa, performed still more superhuman action because the Lord desired it. As super soul of King Yudhishthir, he did not allow the king to be convinced by the words of Vyasa, others, including himself. because he desired that the king should hear instructions from the dying Bhishma Dev, who was another devotee of the Lord. The Lord wanted that at the last stage of the material existence, the great warrior Bhishma Dev see him personally, see his beloved grandchildren, Yudhishthir Maharaj, who is now situated on the throne, and thus pass away very peacefully. Bhishma Dev was not at all satisfied to fight against the Pandavas, but he was obliged to do so. Why? Because he was maintained at the expense of Duryodhana. Beside this, the Lord also desired that King Yudhishthira be pacified by the words of Bhishma Dev, so that the world could see that Bhishma Dev excelled in knowledge, including the Lord himself. So yes, we sometimes say that why Bhishma Dev did fought against the Pandavas. So sometimes we underestimate Bhishma Dev. So Prabhupada is writing that Krishna made this arrangement so that Bhishma Dev should not be misunderstood. And world could see that Bhishma Dev excelled in all knowledge, in all the Artha Shastras, Niti Shastras, Dharma Shastras, including the Lord himself. Therefore, to glorify his devotee, it's not that this Krishna was not able to convince or cannot give solace to Yudhishthira Maharaj, but he made such an arrangement where the Bhishma Dev has to be glorified. Just like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to spread this Sankirtan movement, and it was not difficult for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread in the Western countries also. But he wants to glorify Prabhupada. He wants to glorify his devotee to come and then propagate this Nam Sankirtan in the Western world. So it's the Lord's desire that supersedes everything. Text 47. Aharaja dharma sutas chintayan suhridam vadham prakritatmana viprasneha moha vasam gataha. So King Yudhishthir, now Sutta Goswami is saying that why he was so overwhelmed. Because King Yudhishthir, who was the son of Dharmaraj, Dharma Sutas, Chintayan Suhridam Vadam, he was in that chinta, he was thinking that how he has killed his Suhridam, his friends. Vadam means to kill, how he has killed his friends. Prakritatmana vipraha, just for the material conception only, he killed. And sneha bandha vasham gata, and he has been sneha, moha. Sneha means affection, moha means delusion, and vasam means he was carried away. So how he was carried away, and how he thought that actually this entire massacre happened for his sake, so that he is enthroned and he gets the kingdom. So that's the thought process that was going on in the mind of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Somebody can read translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hmm.
King Yudhishthira, son of Dharma, overwhelmed by the death of his friends, was aggrieved just like a common materialistic man. O sages, thus deluded by affection, he began to speak.
Thank you, Shami. So this verse also describes the Yudhishthira's loss of discrimination. Though he was very sound spiritually, but still he was acting on a material plane. And this was a temporary imposition that was put by the Supreme Lord, so that the Lord's plan can be carried out. Okay. He knows that this fight was a just fight because the cause was just. But then why this material imposition was there in the heart of Yudhishthira Maharaj? It is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually writes that it was the Lord's desire, so that Lord's desire or plan can be carried out. And his plan was to give his darshan to Bhishma Dev. King Yudhishthira, though he was not expected to become aggrieved like a common man, he was Dharma Sutta, he was the son of Dharmaraj. He became deluded by the worldly affection, by the will of the Lord, just as Arjun was deluded. A man who sees well that the living entity is neither the body nor the mind, but is transcendental to the material conception of life. The common man thinks of violence and non-violence in terms of body, but that is a kind of delusion. Everyone is duty bound according to one's occupation. A Kshatriya is bound to fight for the right cause, regardless of whosoever is there on the opposite party. In such discharge of duty, one should not be disturbed by the annihilation of the material body. When the soldier goes in the forefront, he doesn't care who is there on the other side. He just carries the orders of his master, okay, for which he is being given the medal, or for which he is duty bound at that time. Soldier is a duty bound, so he has to shoot. So this is an external dress of the living soul. All this was perfectly known to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He was Dharmasata, but by the will of the Lord, he became like a common man, because there was another great idea behind this delusion. The king would be instructed by Bhishma, as Arjun was instructed by the Lord himself. Arjun, being bewildered, he was waiting for the war to happen. But at the time of war, when the conch shells were blown, Arjun became bewildered. Now, this is also by the will of the Supreme Lord, because his plans should be carried out. So Arjun was bewildered. For whom? For our sake, for the people in general, so that people in general should get Bhagavad Gita. So here also, Yudhishthira Maharaj was bewildered so that everybody can hear the words of Bhishma Dev, the prayers offered by Bhishma Dev. Text 48. Aho me pashyata janam hridhi ruddham duratmanah parakshaiva dehasya bhavyo me shantarihata. Okay, what was going on in the mind of Yudhishthira Maharaj? Somebody can read.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Okay. Go ahead, Mataji.
Go ahead, Mataji.
King Yudhishthir said, "O my lord, I am the most sinful man. Just see my heart, which is full of ignorance. This body, which is ultimately meant for others, has killed many, many phalanxes of men."
Thank you. Thank you, Nishamati. So King Yudhishthira is saying, "Oh my Lord, oh alas, see what is there. Aho me pashyata janam. I am so much ignorant, ajnanam, so much ignorance is there in me, hriday ruddham, in my heart. And I'm a duratmana, I'm so sinful. Why? Because just for this body, which is meant for others, prakrit shaiva dehasya, meant for others means, first of all, first meaning we have to understand that this body has to be used for the welfare of others. Till the time we are alive, we should use this body so that we can preach Krishna consciousness to others. Once we are dead, this body is also meant for others, for jackals and for dogs. So therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj saying, this body which is meant for others, whether living or dead, doesn't belong to me. It is meant for others, but I am such a person that just for the sake of this body, I have killed so many people. Bhavyo mish akshahonirhata. Akshahonirhata means so many akshahonis I have killed. Okay. Prabhupada writes in the purport, what is an akshahoni? A solid flanks of 21,870 chariots and the same amount of elephants, the same amount of infantry. Infantry means the foot soldiers, and 65,600 of horses. Together is one akshahoni. And how many were there? There were 11 on the side of Kauravas and 7 on the side of the Pandavas. So, and all the akshahonis were killed. And many akshahonis were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Maharaj Yudhishthira, as the most pious king of the world, takes for himself the responsibility for killing such a huge number of living beings, because the battle was fought to reinstate him on the throne. Then Yudhishthir Maharaj is thinking that this body is after all meant for others. While there is life in the body, it is meant to serve others. And when it is dead, it is to be eaten by dogs and jackals or maggots. He is sorry because for such a temporary body, such a huge massacre was committed. So even though he was tried to being solaced, but still it didn't happen because of the glory of Bhishma Dev has to shine. Baladvija Suhan Mitra Petra Bhratar Guru Drahu Nami Syanire Moksha Hi Api Varsha Ayutate. I have killed. Okay, somebody can read translation.
I can read, Mataji. I have killed many boys, brahmanas, well-wishers, friends, parents, preceptors, and brothers. Though I live millions of years, I will not be relieved from the hell that awaits me for all these sins.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is what was going on in the heart of Yudhishthira Maharaj. He says Bala, Bala, Dvija, Suhrin, Mitra. Bala means boys, Dvija means brahmanas, Suhrin means the friends, the well-wishers, Mitra means friends, Pitra means father, Bratra means brothers, Guru, and Drahu. Drahu means I have killed all these people. Never. Name Syan Nirayan Moksha. He still, for millions of years also, if I live, I will not be relieved from the sins that I have committed by killing them. Prabhupada writes that whenever there is a war, there is certainly a massacre of many innocent people. Today's world also is there. So many innocent people has to give up their life when some things happen, some war happens, or some calamities, or some epidemic happen. In the war also, such as boys, brahmanas, women, whose killing is considered to be the greatest of sins, all those innocent creatures, and in the circumstances, killing of them is forbidden in the scriptures. All these were killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Maharaj Yudhishthir was aware of this mass killing. Similarly, they were friends, parents, preceptors, both the sides, and all of them were killed. It was simply horrible to him for him to think of such killing, and therefore he was thinking of residing in hell for millions and millions of years. So this way, our Yudhishthir Maharaj was thinking that because I have killed all these children, these brahmanas, these relatives, these friends, parental uncles, cousins, gurus, I cannot be free from hellish planets, from the hellish punishments. For millions and millions of years also, I'll not be relieved. Tulsi Gopi Mataji, we'll wait. Let's finish three more verses, and then we'll take up questions. नैनुराग्न प्रजा भरतो धर्म युद्धे वधो द्विषाम् इति मे नातु बोधाय कल्पते शासनं वचः. Somebody can read.
There is no sin for a king who kills for the right cause, who is engaged in maintaining his citizens, but this injunction is not applicable to me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So now Yudhishthir Maharaj is saying, because he is a Dharma Sutta, he knows Dharma. And so he is thinking, actually there is no sin for the king if the king kills the enemy in a dharmic war while protecting the citizens. There is no sin that comes on to the king. But still he says that this rule doesn't apply to me. This injunction that a king does not suffer when the king kills for the right cause does not apply. This rule does not apply to me. Maharaj Yudhishthir thought that although he was not actually involved in the administration of the kingdom, which was being carried on well by Duryodhan without harm to the citizens, he caused the killing of so many living beings for his personal gain of the kingdom from the hands of Duryodhan. The killing was committed not in the course of administration, but for the sake of self-aggrandizement. And as such, he thought himself responsible for all the sins. For the sake of self-aggrandizement, mean for the sake of power, wealth, prestige. He killed so many people. So he thought himself responsible for all the sins. Strinam madhata bandhunam drohi yas ito hitaha karma bhir griha medhayer naham kalpo vyapohitam. Somebody can read translation.
I have killed many friends of women, and I have thus caused enmity to such an extent that is not possible to undo it by material welfare work.
Thank you, Nishamati. So the word is Trinam Madhata Bandhunam. So Bandhu actually means friends. Therefore, Prabhupada also writes that I have killed many friends of women. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually mentions that Bandhu Nam also refers to the husband. So the woman whose husbands I have killed. Okay, so I have killed so many people. When Prabhupada in the purport writes, the Grahamedis are those whose only business is to perform welfare work for the sake of material prosperity. Such material prosperity is sometimes hampered by the sinful activities, for the materialist is sure to commit sins even unintentionally in the course of discharging their material duties. So now to get relief, certain Vedas have prescribed certain sacrifice to get relief from such sinful reactions. And those are like Ashwamedha Yajna, which can relieve one even from Brahma Hatya, killing of a Brahmana. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj performed this Ashwamedha Yajna, but he thinks that even by performing such yajna, it is not possible to get relief from the great sins that he has committed. In the war, either the husband or the brother or even the father or the sons go to fight, and they all were killed. So a fresh enmity is created, and thus a chain of action and reaction increases, and it is not possible to be counteracted even by performing thousands of Ashwamedha yajnas. The way of karma is like that. It creates one action after another reaction simultaneously, and thus increases the chain of material activities binding the performer in the material bondage. The remedy is given. What is the remedy? To get rid from this bondage of doing so many karmas one after another is to take the path of devotional service. It can be checked when work is done on behalf of the Supreme Lord. So when the work is done on the behalf of the Supreme Lord, where the Supreme Lord says, Yat karoshi yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi tadasita, tat tapasyasi kaunteya, tad kurusva madarpanam, that you should Madarpanam, you should give everything to me. Shubha, Shubha, Phala, whether it is auspicious or inauspicious Phala you get, everything you should give to me. Then Mokshay Karma Bandhana, then you will not get any entanglement. And Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimuktoma Upasyasi, then you will renounce everything. And then what will happen? You will come to me, you will be liberated. So this is the remedy. That's why Krishna, when Arjun was bewildered, what Krishna said, Maam Anusmaran Yuddhacha, that you please remember me and fight. Delegate in this entire fight onto me. Fight because I want you to fight. So then you will be relieved of all the sinful reactions. Because even Arjun was thinking that I will incur so many sinful reactions by killing all my kinsmen, my friends, my brothers, my grandfather, my uncles, my master. But Krishna says, no, you will not incur any sinful reactions because you are doing it for my sake. Yat karoshi yadajnashi. Whatever you do, whatever austerity you perform, just give it to Krishna. Then you will not be binding the performer in material bondage would not happen. The battlefield of Kurukshetra was actually fought by the will of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, as it is evident from his version. And only by his will was Yudhishthir placed on the throne of Hastinapur. Factually, no sin whatsoever could touch the Pandavas, who were only the order carriers of the Lord. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachi. Krishna told, Oh Arjun, oh Savyasachi, you just become a Nimit Matram. All these people are already killed. You are just becoming an instrument. So they were just the order carriers of the Lord. For others who declare war out of personal interest, yes, the whole responsibility lies on them. So this is what Prabhupada's explanation is, that even by performing so many Ashwamedha yajnas, still that could have not counteracted the sins that were committed in killing those people. This is the thought process of Yudhishthir Maharaj. And the last final verse also, he quotes the same thing. यथा पंकेन पंकांभ सूरया वासुराकृतं भूतहत्यं तथा वैकं न यज्ञर्मर्तुमर्हति. So what he says, yada pankena pankambha means if any water, amba means water. If the water is mixed with panka, with the mud, that no amount of mud, if you mix more mud, how can you purify the water? Right? It is not possible to clear the muddy water with the help of the mud. Is it possible? No. Water is already muddy. If you use more mud, the water will become more muddy. You cannot remove the mud from the water by using the mud. You have to use some other chemicals or some other filter system. Suraya surakritam. Similarly, if any pot is being contaminated by liquor, then adding more liquor on that pot will not help the pot to get clean. Bhutahatyam tatha vaikam. Similarly, I have bhutahatyam, to kill the living entities in the form of yagnas that I do, Ashwamedha yagnas. I'm killing animals. I'm sacrificing animals to get rid of the sinful reactions of killing all those people in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So, bhutahatyam matathai vaikam na yagnir matsum arhati. Well, it cannot counteract killing more animals in the sacrifice. How can it counteract the sin that I have committed in killing all those kings in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? So he's saying that nothing gets negated, means balance, that the piety or impiety, it doesn't get counteracted, that you do 5 pious things and 10 impious things, and then it balance out, and then you have to suffer for 5 impious. No, you have to come back to suffer for 10 impious and to enjoy the 5 pious. It doesn't get counteracted. So he's saying, just as one cannot purify the muddy water by using mud, or one cannot purify the contaminated liquor pot by adding more liquor to it. Similarly, it is not possible to purify oneself by killing another living being in the form of animal sacrifice. I cannot be counteracted by all those sinful reactions. So what is the use? Yes, I have done hundreds of Ashwamedha yajnas, but what's the use of those Ashwamedha yajnas? Somebody can read translation.
As it is not possible to filter muddy water through mud, or purify a wine-stained pot with wine, it is not possible to counteract the killing of men by sacrificing animals. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, the last purport of this chapter, Ashwamedha yajnas or Gomedha yajnas, sacrifice in which horse or bull is sacrificed, were not, of course, for the purpose of killing the animals. Lord Chaitanya said that such animals which are sacrificed on the altar of yajna were regenerated and new life was given to them, some higher life, human life. It was to prove the efficacy, what do you say? It was to prove the efficacy. Efficacy, you can say, is like the potency, the power of the hymns of the Vedas. So it is when somebody performs a Gomedha yajna or Ashwamedha yajna, where the bull or the horse is sacrificed, that jiva gets a higher destination. So such kind of sacrifice are done to glorify the Vedic hymns, to stand out the potency of the Vedic hymns. By recitation of the hymns of the Vedas in a proper way, certainly the performer gets relief of the reactions of sins. But in case such sacrifices are done improperly under the inexpert management, surely one has to be responsible for animal sacrifice. But in this age of Kali, Prabhupada writes, there is no possibility of performing yagnas perfectly for want of expert brahmanas who are able to conduct such yagnas. So therefore, Ashwamedha sacrifice and Gomedha sacrifice are strictly restricted for this age of Kali. Maharaj Yudhishthira therefore gives a hint of performing sacrifices in the age of Kali. Because what hint he is giving? He is saying just like the muddy water cannot be filtered out through mud, a wine-stained pot cannot be purified by wine. Similarly, one cannot counteract one's sin by killing many animals or sacrificing animals. So he is also giving this hint that there is no use of killing another animal so that we can be purified of the sinful reactions. So in this age of Kali, the only sacrifice recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Harinam Yagna. One should not indulge in animal killing and counteract it by performing the Harinam Yagna. Those who are the devotees of the Lord never kill an animal for self-interest. And as the Lord ordered Arjun, they do not refrain from performing a duty of a Kshatriya. The whole purpose, therefore, is served when everything is done for the will of the Lord, the desire to please the Supreme Lord. And this is possible only for the devotees. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit Singh. So finally, we finish this chapter. Thank you so much. Yes. Tulsi Gopi Mataji, you raised your hand. Please go ahead. Radhananda Prabhu is quoting.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Sarva Papana Pramanam Dukkham. Yes, the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, Radhananda. Yes, Tulsi Gopi Mataji.
In one of the verses, Yudhishthira Maharaj is saying about killing of women.
I thought you will ask the same question. Actually, he is not saying about killing of women. No woman was killed in the battlefield. But he's saying that just like killing of the Brahmanas, boys, and the women are restricted in the Shastras. But I have done the same. I have killed those Brahmanas. I have killed my own kinsmen. So therefore, I am definite to incur the sinful reactions.
Okay, so it doesn't mean that women died. I was thinking, did they die of trauma or they went
No,
sati?
nothing happened.
Or
Nothing happened.
Sure.
So he's saying, when Prabhupada is saying, whenever there is a war, there is certainly a massacre of innocent living beings, such as boys, brahmanas, and women. Okay, why? Because the woman also has to suffer. But actually, they are not killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So the Shastra says that at any circumstances, killing of such people like boys, innocent living beings, and brahmanas and women, it is forbidden in the scripture. But Maharaj Yudhishthira was thinking that he is the one because he killed his own boys, means the sons of all the Kauravas, and he was the one who killed even Brahmanas like Dronacharya. So he is the one who has killed all these people who are forbidden in the Shastras. So definitely he is nowhere where he can be relieved from such sinful reactions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else has any questions? Yes, Madhurya Maikeshwari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Mataji, for verse 51, I think in the last sentence, so here Yudhishthira Maharaj is quoting, and since he knows, he's a very well knower of dharma, so he's saying, for personal gain, if someone is killing, right?
Hmm.
Then you'll incur the sin.
Hmm.
So, and he's saying, talking about himself, but that battle did happen. And though he did not do it for personal gain, but Duryodhan did it for personal gain, right?
Hmm.
So our understanding is like he should have got the sin, right, of that killing of
Of
those many.
course, of course, of course.
But
Very
he got the movie also at the same time. They
because
also got
Krishna
the
was there.
Krishna was there. So what about
Because
that balance karma?
see, Mataji, Krishna never takes anything on his plate. Okay. He doesn't give prema bhakti, but when he personally kills somebody, he gives mukti, like Ravan. But Duryodhan, I don't know whether he really got mukti because when he left his body, Krishna was not present in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea where it's been mentioned that Duryodhan was liberated. So
But
definitely,
somewhere it was written like whosoever was there on the battlefield, they died.
yeah, whosoever
They
was
mentioned that.
there, yeah, because at that time Krishna was actively participating as a charioteer of Arjun in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But when Duryodhan left, nobody was there. He was all by himself. Secondly, your point is that, of course, not in the case of Duryodhan, because Duryodhan has incurred a lot of sinful reactions. But otherwise, when Krishna relieves somebody of all the sinful reactions, like actually Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's been mentioned. You know about Jagai and Madai, what kind of people they were. So it's been mentioned that there was no sin that they have not committed. That even Chitragupta was consulting with Yamaraj to build a separate hell for both of them. But how, when Nityananda Prabhu decides to liberate them, he liberated. And finally, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he delivered them, both of them. They became Jagdananda and Madhavananda. There, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions, it's been mentioned that at one point of time, his entire body was turned into black because the sins that they have committed have been taken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But there, Vrindavan Das Thakur writes that Lord is magnanimous, that he will relieve you for all the sins that you have committed, but he'll not keep all the sins to himself. So there, Vrindavan Das Thakur, he writes that Mahaprabhu announced that from here onwards, whosoever will commit Vaishnava Aparadh will get a portion of the reaction of the sins committed by Jagai and Madai.
Okay.
Right, so Mahaprabhu will not take everything. Similarly, Krishna will not take anything to himself. So when he liberates that jiva, that reaction of the sinful actions that have been committed by that jiva will be transferred to those who commits Vaishnava Aparadh. That is the verdict of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Bhagavat mentioned by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So as you said that what happened to those sins? Those sins are still in that storehouse and some fractions of those reactions are being given to those who commit Vaishnava Aparadh. So we have to be very careful.
Mataji, this is really shocking, Mataji. It's the first time we are hearing, at least I'm hearing. This is declared by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Mahaprabhu, yes. Mahaprabhu himself declares this.
Okay, Mataji. Then we should really know what is Vaishnava Aparadh in real sense and then be really clear. That is also not so clear, no, Mataji. So please tell, Mataji.
What is Vaishnava Aparadh? Consider everybody to be a Vaishnava. And don't think that, oh, I have to refrain myself of committing any aparadh against any Vaishnava. Our mood should be, because if we keep on deliberating on this thought that, oh, I have to not commit an aparadh, I have not to commit an aparadh, ultimately we will commit aparadh. So what we have to deliberate and ponder upon is that let me serve. Let me serve to my capacity. How much ever possible, I may serve the Vaishnavas.
Okay.
I may be very kind to Vaishnavas. Let me be very gentle to Vaishnavas. And who are Vaishnavas? The Vishnu Bhaktas are the Vaishnavas. Irrespective, they are chanting 1 round, 2 rounds, 16 rounds, or more than that. Even if somebody is chanting 1 round, it's good. His Holiness Gaur Govind Goswami Maharaj said in one of his class, if I'm not wrong, and I think so, it was reiterated by Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that the sins that we commit, the aparad, not the sins, the aparad that we commit to a Vaishnava, to the degree, means that Vaishnava is a very neophyte Vaishnava. Okay. So if we commit very new, we don't even consider that person, that jiva, to be a Vaishnava, and we commit aparad towards them, to the degree that jiva becomes a Vaishnava, because over the period of the time, impurity will go and the jiva might progress in bhakti. To the degree that the jiva progresses and become a Vaishnava, to that same degree, the offense that we did in committing aparad against that Vaishnava, to that same degree, our reactions also increase.
Oh,
So
that's
we have
proportional activity, Mataji.
proportional. To the degree that Vaishnava becomes a pure devotee, to the same degree our reaction to the offense that we committed against him will also increase.
Okay, Mataji.
So we have to be very, very careful. What's the point if we understand Vasudeva Kutumba, means everything belongs to Krishna, then what's the point in committing aparad against Vaishnavas? So we have to be very careful, very, very, I'm not supposed to use this word, but actually this is the right word. Mind your own business. Period. Don't poke your nose in others' affairs and others' things. Just see yourself, where we are, how we can progress, irrespective of thinking what others are doing and getting envious of others getting spiritually advanced or materially advanced. Today we might think, oh, he's just my relative, and he's not even a Vaishnava. What if he becomes a Vaishnava? Then our aparad will also proportionally will increase. So there is no point in doing that. So
Mataji, already making up towards existing Vaishnavas is a problem. Now, in your fight, as he grows, your problem increases is multi-proportional. But anyway, I'm very thankful to Krishna and you, because this is a very good, apart from hearing Krishna glories, these things really help us, the growing people in Vaishnavism. We should learn this, Mataji. Thank you so much. Really, Mataji, this point, it is extraordinary, because this didn't come because Mataji asked that question. This point you have raised, and for all of us, it is of great use, Mataji. Thank you very much. So, as you said, if you remember this, as we'll serve more and we'll be more and minding our own business. That is a guideline, actually, Mataji.
Yeah. Let's serve. Let's have this attitude of serving, no matter.
Yes.
And that's why, see, Yudhishthira Maharaj was also known as Ajata Shatru. Means he didn't envy anyone. Yes, there may be many people who are envious of Yudhishthira Maharaj, but he was Ajat Shatru. For him, there was no Shatru. Same thing. We should not have any animosity towards anyone. Even if they have done something wrong to us, we should think, okay, they were just the instrument in Lord's plan. This is how. It's very hard to do it, Mataji, but ultimately we have to imbibe this thought in our life that everybody was instrument in our life, even if they have caused suffering to us, because ultimately the plan is the Supreme Lord. He is the ultimate sanctioner. Upadrishta Anumanta. He has given his Anumanta. He has given his permission. That's why the things have happened. So if the things have happened, that means it was Krishna's plan. And if it is Krishna's plan, then why I have to worry about? If I am a surrendered devotee, if I have surrendered fully to Krishna, then I should abide by Krishna's plan. Then what's the point of crying and suffering and getting envious of others people? So everything is Krishna's plan. And only a devotee can understand this. Otherwise, it's very hard. Trust me, it's very hard, especially to forgive those who have implicated you in so many ways. But the more we read the Shastras, the more we come in contact with Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we see the life of the great devotees like Draupadi Maharani, like Kunti Maharani, like Pandavas, like Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, the more we come in contact with their pastimes, we understand, oh, we are just an insignificant soul. So with all that, we get the strength and we see Krishna's hand behind everything. So therefore, we have to be very, very careful. And we should ultimately see that everybody is acting as an instrument on behalf of Lord Shri Krishna. If we hold on to this statement, the entire life we will never regret. We will never blame others. The only thing is that we blame ourselves. It's my karma. I have to bear it, and let me tolerate it, and let me suffer, and let me worship the Supreme Lord by dedicating all my sufferings, all my karma unto Him.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Yes, please, Gopi Mataji.
Mataji, I was wondering if someone committed Vaishnava Aparadh. And so this from Chaitanya Bhagavat, where the reactions go to a person. So two questions I had is that what if the Vaishnava forgives, then that reaction still will go? And the other thing is, like, if he repents and asks for forgiveness, or even if he doesn't ask for forgiveness, but if the Vaishnava forgives, then the reaction will still go. And the other question is, when he committed the aparadh, if that person was not a Vaishnava, then he did not actually do Vaishnava aparadh, right?
Of course, that's what I said. That's what I said. Even though that person was not a Vaishnava at that time, but today, if that person has become a Vaishnava, then to the degree that he has become pure, to the same degree will be in the reactions. Even though it's said by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj only. It's his quote.
So his past consciousness on the situation will, even if the situation changed, but the reaction will kind of still go back, like backwards.
Of course it will. To the degree if somebody becomes a pure devotee, to the same degree we bear the reactions. Even though at that time when we committed aparadh, that person may not be a Vaishnava. So what? If today he has become a Vaishnava, then we will bear the sin accordingly. To the degree of his purity, our reactions will also come.
And the other question I had was that, so Duryodhan did so much Vaishnava aparadh all his life, but I was remembering that in Bhagavatam, when when Gandhari and Dhritarashtra are really mourning, then Vyasdev goes after the war and talks to them, and he pacifies her by saying, all your sons have gone to heaven, don't worry, or something like that. So how that happened? Like, why would
they were not liberated, right?
What happened?
Heaven is okay. Do you think heaven is a very great position to acquire? No, heaven is okay.
But I'm thinking that after so much Vaishnava aparadh also, how he could go to heaven? I mean, is that immediately?
Because he fought in a dharmic war, though he was on the side of adharma. Krishna told Arjuna also, right, that there is always a win-win situation for you. Because this war has been ordained by me, it has been orchestrated by me. So therefore, if you win this battle, you will enjoy this earthly kingdom. Even if you lose this battle, you will enjoy heavenly planets. But then whatever punya Duryodhan had, whatever little bit punya, he gets to heavenly planets, but then come down back again. So it is just like going for vacation at some place. So what? Coming back. Ultimately, he is back.
So will he also get the sinful reaction of Jagai Madhai? Like, does it go back in time, or it will be for future only, like future Vaishnava aparadhs, or how?
I cannot say, Mataji, what will happen and what happened to Duryodhana. But ultimately, thing is that this is what Chaitanya Bhagavat explains, that those who commits Vaishnava aparadh will get a portion of the sins that were committed by Jagai Madhai. So I'm just giving you a blanket statement that has been mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Ultimately, who got it and how Duryodhan got it and what happened, I have no one to comment upon. But definitely he is not liberated. Like Shishupal was liberated, Dantavakra was liberated, Duryodhan was not.
That's true. Thank you, Mataji.
When Saudamini Mataji is mentioning today's mental man can become tomorrow's gentleman. You never know. So be very careful. Yes, Praladananda Prabhu, you want to add something?
Yeah, Mata, Dhanvat Pranam. I was just realizing what you said, mind your own business. That is actually, said in Bhagavad Mahatma by Gokana Maharaj. Gokana Maharaj told Atmadev, Dharmam bhajas satatam tyaj lok dharman sevasva sadhu purusam jahi kam trushnam anyasya gundos chintanam asu muktva seva katha rasam nitram pibatva. This is what he told Atmadev, that do this. Don't worry about others, business. Anyasya gundos chintanam asu muktva. Don't think they are good or bad. Take your business, your own. Dharmam bhaja bhakti dharma. Dharmam bhaja satatam tyaj lok dharman. Sevasva sadhu purusham, do sadhu sang. This is, Gokana Maharaj, when he comes back, and Atmadev is advising his father. He says, Dehestiman Rudhirebim Bhatityajatam. Don't think you are the body. Dehestiman Rudhirebim Bhatityajatam. Jaya Sutadisu Mamta Sada Vimunch. Pashyanisam Jagadidam Kshanbhanganishtam Vairagya Ragrasiko Bhav Bhakti Nishtam. And then this follows it. Dharmam bhajaso satatam. He told him to do bhakti yoga and go to, read Bhagavatam like that. So this is the right thing for us to do also, that why should we bother about who is what and not? Take care of ourselves only, So I like what you said, that take your business, your own business like that. Thank you, Mata. Very nice class. Haribo.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for quoting that verse from Bhagavad Puran. And some Rasik Sant in Vrindavan also I heard when I was in the Kartik Yatra there, they say, Tere bhavo kucho karo, like it's in Braj Bhasha. Tere bhava kucho karo, bhalo buro sansar. Narayan to बैठी के अपने भुवन बुहार. So that means tere bhava kuch karo. If somebody does you good or bad, it doesn't matter. Let them do. Narayan to baithige. You just focus on Radha and Krishna. You just focus on the Supreme Lord. Apne bhuvan buhar means just buhar means to wipe off your own courtyard. Means worry about your own house in which you are living. Forget about those who are telling you anything. So it says very beautifully, Tere bhave kucho karo, bhulo bhuro sansar. No sansar can do anything to you. Let them do it. लोगों का काम है कहना, लोग तो कहेंगे. नारायण तो बैठे के अपना भुवन बुहार. So why अपना चिंतन करो, forget about others.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Nisha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for the beautiful class again. I have two questions. Sometimes we may commit aparadh, that is knowingly or unknowingly. So is there any difference in reactions of knowing or unknowing? And the second question is,
let me tell first, Mataji, I'll forget.
Okay.
Right. So, knowingly or unknowingly, if some aparadh has been committed, is there any difference in the reaction of it? It depends upon how Krishna takes it. Because Vaishnava aparadh, we commit against a Vaishnava, but actually Vaishnavas are very, very kind enough and they will not consider any aparadh. So it's Krishna who takes it, who consider that aparadh because he considered Vaishnavas to be his own. Okay, so whenever we commit a Vaishnava aparadh, that equation is not between a person who has committed an aparadh and a person against whom we have committed. That equation is never between them. The equation is between we committing an aparadh and Krishna. because Vaishnavas are very forgiving. They'll forget and forgive. But it's up to Krishna how he takes it. So Krishna knows our intentions, that we have knowingly committed or we have unknowingly committed. Of course, there is a difference, because unknowingly, if we have committed any aparadh, there is a rectification to it. And the rectification is that we ask forgiveness from that Vaishnava, even though that Vaishnava has not considered that there has any aparadh committed against him. Okay, so we can go and ask for forgiveness, and we can feed those Vaishnavas some anna, some grain, and we can call them for some prasadam, because when we feed someone Krishna prasad, then definitely, the Vaishnavas are pleased. So this is an unknowing effect. Like, I'll give you the example. Rupa Goswami, when he was meditating on the pastime of Krishna and Srimati Radharani, where Radharani was trying to pluck some flowers from the branch of the trees, and Krishna said that I will hold you. Krishna lifted up Srimati Radharani. She went onto that branch to pluck some flowers, and then Krishna left her. So she was hanging around. So Rupa Goswami was meditating on this, and as Krishna left Srimati Radharani, and Srimati Radharani was holding onto the branch, and she was there, Rupa Goswami started laughing. There was a person who passed by who was lame. He was not able to walk properly, and he thought that Rupa Goswami is laughing on him. So he took it as an aparadh. And immediately at that time, the entire vision of that pastime was gone from the vision of Rupa Goswami, from his meditation. And he tried to meditate again on the same pastime, but he was not able to. And then he went to his brother Srila Sanatan Goswami, and he told everything to Sanatan Goswami. And Sanatan Goswami said that this aparadh has been committed by you. So though it was an unknowing aparadh, like, he didn't laugh on that person, he was laughing on the pastime that he was meditating upon. But another person took the offense. So Sanatan Goswami said that you have to call everybody in the villages and you have to feed everybody. And then when this person will come, then you will be liberated from that aparadh. And then you will also come to know that against whom you have committed that aparadh. So the point is, when unknowingly some aparadh has been committed, then Krishna, who is sitting in our heart as Paramatma, knows our intentions, and therefore those aparadhs can be mitigated. But knowingly, if we commit any aparadh, then of course, because that Vaishnava aparadh knowingly being committed converts into nam aparadh. And for that, there is no rectification. The only thing is our repentance, our regret is what is going to clean us, like Ashwatthama. Till today, he is regretting. Till today, he is performing austerities, penances. So our regret is our punishment. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. And so, knowingly, you're saying if you commit an offense, then even if you ask for forgiveness, it's not rectified.
Means again, it depends upon Krishna, how grave that offense is.
Okay.
But yes, knowingly, we should try to avoid to commit any aparadha as possible.
Thank you, Mataji. And I think my second question is also answered through your first one. My second question was, what if you don't intend to offend somebody and the other person gets offended? Then what happens?
If you come to know that the person is offended, even if you have not offended that person intentionally, there is no harm in asking for forgiveness. When we ask sorry for somebody, it doesn't make us low. It shows that how much we want to value the relationship.
Yes.
There is
Thank
no-
you. Thank you so much.
Yes, Sadamani Sundari Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanjavad. Mataji, connecting to this question, Mataji, what Nisha Mataji was telling. So you said that Anutap is our only punishment, no, Mataji? Like even after hearing philosophies and going to temple, associating with devotees. And when we know that this is not correct, still because of past samskaras or whatever, I don't know. So because of this, we go on repeating the same thing again and again. And I feel so pathetic sometimes, like so many years past, I'm still the same. So according to you, Mataji, the Anutap is the only punishment, no, Mataji?
Yeah. Anutap is the only solution. Only solution is this. Go and pray and beg to Krishna, to Vaishnavas.
Even my daughter she was crying that I felt so sorry for her. She's only 8 years old, and I tell her stories and sometimes morals also. So she came to know few things. And again, when she screamed on me that day for something, and later I was surprised. She was crying. I asked what happened. I thought she got hurt or what. And she was telling, you told me not to do like this, and I know it is not correct, but still I scream and I feel so bad now. So then I was thinking that same happens to me also. I hear so many philosophies and still I am doing the same thing.
So nice, cute of her. So she understood, right, that whatever she did was wrong. And it is because of the samskaras that you are trying to embed in her.
So I saw her doing little Anutap. First time I saw her. So this Anutap is helpful, no, Mataji?
Yeah, this Anutap is the only way, the only solution. Yes, Tulsi Gopi Mataji.
Mataji, I was remembering that how you said that to feed prasad or repent. So I was remembering example of how some people who have devotees who had done serious Vaishnava aparadh, they tried to repent, and also by taking guidance from the Lord or other pure senior pure devotees, they did certain specific Vaishnava seva also to as a remedy in the process of repentance. For example, Jagai and Madhai were asked to create bathing ghat at the bank of Ganga to serve Vaishnavas whom they had, and to serve the future devotees. Like that, I guess we should remember to take some guidance from our spiritual master if possible, and if not possible, other seniors, that how to correct yourself and how to serve the people we have hurt or the Vaishnavas. And I guess, right, to...
Of course, very true. Service to the Vaishnavas pleases Lord Shri Krishna also. Krishna himself says, right, Govinda, Go, Dvija, Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. It's very dear. Service to all these personalities pleases Krishna the most. So don't leave any opportunity when it comes to the service of all these people. Vrajvasis, Brahmanas, Dvijas, and Vaishnavas, and cows. Whenever some opportunity comes, we should try to please do some service to them, because that will please Krishna. Okay, yes. I don't know from where this topic of Vaishnava Aparadh comes in.
Mataji, this is very important, Mataji. Bhagavatam we can hear, we can study, but this kind of guidance from senior Vaishnavites, it doesn't come. It's Krishna's mercy, Mataji, for all of us. Seriously, Mataji, you're very right. We are not into that area, but if that comes by, that means maybe someone of us are in that mode of doing some little aparadh, and we are in Bhagavata classes. He's reminding that you should not do that. That is a message given to us, Mataji. Seriously, for all of us who are hearing, that's a great message through you. So we are indebted to you. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranams.
Well, this message is for me also. I was committing a lot of aparadhas.
Mataji, may I add a little realization?
Yes.
We are all doing Bhakti Mahajana Gata Sapantha, Srila Prabhupada's guidance and everything. Our attitude, at least what I feel many a time, is that Narayana para sarve kutascha na bhubhyati. I might have committed aparadhas and so many wrong things in my life. I am now dependent on mercy of Guru and Bhagavan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Narayana para sarve kutascha na bhubhyati. Even if I get liberated, even if I go to heaven or even go to hell, Tulya Darsi. That's the one slok which solaces so much. Also, Maharaj Kulsekhar, he's also saying that Mukund Murdna Prani Pratyayache. I'm touching my head on the floor and asking you one favor. Mukund Murdna Prani Pratyayache Bhavantam Ekatam Yantam Artham. Only this much exclusive request I have to you is, what is that? Avismruti. Avismruti. Constant remembrance. Avismruti tacharnarvinde. Bhave bhave me astu bhavat prasadat. And let be your mercy. Only one thing I want is your remembrance of your lotus feet. Whatever it doesn't matter whether I go to hell or heaven or get up work like that. So these are kind of encouraging Shastra slokas which can help us to remain stable and progress further, rather than, repenting, oh, I did this and that. Things have happened, so many things happen in our life like that. So I just wanted to add that little realization, Mata. Vaibhav.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice. Prahlad, Bhakta Prahlad also says this. Of course, our Prahladananda Prabhu is also there. That personality who gives Ananda to Prahlad. So Prahlad Maharaj also prays in the same mood to Hiranyakashipu that Vismriti Naho means there should never be a time where I should not remember you. Give me that benediction if you really want to give that benediction. So this is the benediction that we should always seek for, that never there should be a time where we forget Krishna. Yeah, things will happen, as Prabhu was mentioning, this is life. But the only thing is that we should be Narayan Parayan. We should be Krishna Parayan. We should always take shelter. And that verse that Prabhuji quoted was also actually is being quoted by Lord Shiva himself. When Chitraketu Maharaj committed some offense against Lord Shiva, where Lord Shiva didn't take it, but Parvati Devi take it. And so finally he came as Vritrasura. So at that time, Lord Shiva says that it doesn't matter, my devotee can go to heaven or hell. Till the time they are Narayan Parayana, they'll always be protected. Thank you, Prahladananda. Thank you so much.
Dhanavad pranam, Mata.
Dhanavad pranam. Okay, dear devotees, it's already 6:48. I know many devotees have left, but you all must have seen the message in the group that today we have finished 8th chapter, one more chapter to go. And next Thursday onwards, we'll start 9th chapter. Entire August is full of festivals, but fortunately all festivals are on weekends. So our Bhakti Vaibhav sessions will not be cancelled at any point of time. We will continue with our Bhakti Vaibhav sessions. And hopefully we are planning to finish this 9th chapter, that is Bhishma Stuti, in this entire month of August. So September, around first week or second week, you can plan to give your closed book exam. In the meantime, if you have time, you can still work on your open book exams. Start working on that. Try to submit the shlokas for your test 2 and start preparing for your closed book exams. The question bank has been uploaded in your dashboard and again been shared by Preeti Vilasni Mataji in the group. So all the questions will come from the question bank. No outside question will come. So you can prepare the question bank thoroughly. All the questions will come from that only. So start preparing. You have one more month to go and then we will finish our first unit. Okay. Having said that, we will end our class. Let's offer our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhishcha kripa sindhu vayevacha. Patitanam bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Grace Keerti Das and Mata Ji ki jai.
Jai.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Praise
Hare Krishna.